It's Rick without the K. James presents In My Opinion Podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
All right, you guys, we are back here at In My Opinion Podcast. I am lucky enough to have one of the legends in the game. He's seen it all, said it all, and just an iconic person when it comes to comedy. I got Bruce in the house.
What's up, brother?
And we were lucky enough to have his feature that's been on the road with Bruce. Is it 4 years now?
Yep.
Mr. Bryson Brown, straight out of Austin, Texas, my home state.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys for being on here. Appreciate it. I just wanted to ask a couple questions, just, so feel free to just speak freely. Fellas.
All right, man, let's do it, Pip.
So, I guess my first question is because I watch a lot of Lad TV. I watch a lot of different podcasts, and I just kind of just soak that in because I'm new to this podcasting thing. So excuse me, I'm not experienced, you guys.
Oh, we
just
good,
a comic,
man. We good.
Trying to figure this out myself. So,
okay.
But I just recently heard you, Bruce, on Kevin Hart's is it Comedy Minds?
Yeah.
And just everybody that I've heard you do podcasts with just gives you the flowers. Like, your room was the room to stop at 559.
Well, 559, it'll make you or break you. So 559 was a tight club. We had a comedy night on Tuesday, so it was rough. I mean, people talk about the Peppermint Lounge in Jersey. Peppermint Lounge didn't have nothing on 559. If you made it in 559, you can make it anywhere in the world. Because we didn't have nothing but hustlers, pimps, gangsters, and drug dealers looking at the show. So they had nothing to lose, and they going to say and do anything. But if you make them laugh, you can make it anywhere in the world.
You always talk about the Hennessy, how they used to go crazy on the Hennessy bottle.
Yeah, on the Hennessy bottle.
On the Hennessy bottle.
Well, it's different sections of the hood. You had the south side, you had the east side, you had the west side. They come in and buy 5 bottles of Moet and 5 bottles of Alizé, and they say, how many they buy? And they go buy. They say, we want 5 bottles and 5 bottles of Moet. 5 bottles. Then they say, how many buy in the west side? So we want 5 bottles, and they trying to outdo each other.
What years did that run from?
Oh man, that ran from. Oh my goodness, man. 90. I mean, it had a good 15-year run, like from 1991 to 99. I remember we stopped in 99. We had 8 ball MJG at the club, and the club caught a fire. We think a church member did it. We think a church member set the club on fire, but we had them 8 ball MJG, man, and the club was a place to be. Everybody been through there. E40 been through there. Snoop been through there.
So that was right around when the Freaknet started, though.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. Freaknik ended, Freaknik, the last year was 97. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I seen my club, in 96 do about $2 million in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Freaknik weekend.
Because you guys also had the rap convention out there.
Oh, Jack the Rapper. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So that must have been a crazy week.
It's crazy, man.
I had Faison Love on here about 2 or 3 weeks ago when we stopped through, and I just didn't realize how Faison been around too.
Faison been around a long time, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was like,
been in the
when
business.
Tupac came over, and I was like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Like Tupac Shakur just stopped and had breakfast with you type shit. Like,
yeah, I knew Tupac as well. He used to come see me back in 1990 at the Comedy Act Theater in Atlanta. The Comedy Act Theater started in L.A., on Crenshaw and in Inglewood, and they brought it to Atlanta, and Tupac used to come see me every Tuesday. He said, if I'm in town, I'm coming to see you, man. So whenever he's in town, he comes see me, man.
So if that started in 90, you started comedy when?
Oh man, God, about 88, 87, and I didn't really care nothing about getting paid. I was just, only thing I cared about was just going on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I asked that so I can ask you both a question. So who influenced your comedy first, and then who influenced your comedy, Bryson?
I'll let Bryson go first.
All right.
Shit, that generation, man. The Def Jam, Comic View. You know what I mean? Like that whole generation. You'll be here naming folks for days because that's who really put it on the map. You know what I mean? Like in my style of comedy, my generation, we came up on Comic View. You know what I mean? Because that came on every night. You know what I understand? That shit came on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Came on every night, so cats was household names, early. So So just watching Bruce, Earthquake, you know what I mean? He was one of my favorites, still one of my favorites. You know what I mean? Like yeah, that whole little generation. Jamario.
Jamario
You don't know a
is
damn
just
thing about
Jamario.
Jamario.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You don't know nothing about Jamario.
Yeah, like those cats,
Yeah.
man. You know, so yeah, that's just that whole.
I think I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah.
So I when we were lucky enough to go over to a family member's house who had HBO, it was Def Comedy Jam, and we'd sit there and watch all that. And then
Yeah.
Comic View was just
My
regular
mom was a
cable.
comedy
So
fan, so I can sit and watch all
Oh,
that
yeah.
all night. She ain't care about the curse or nothing. She lay right in the bed with me and watch it. We just watched Def Jam all night, man. Trip on Martin. The
Yeah.
whole, Saturday night, I think
Yeah.
it came on like 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like midnight. She
so
just
that's
let me
what's
stay
got to
up
be
and watch
weird
it.
is because while we were sitting there admiring them, you were in that class of comics.
That's right.
So and that's why I get to it is where I ask people like what their class is too. You know, the 4 or 5 year class where when I was asking Faison, he was like, yeah, and then like I didn't realize like he had like a, I don't want to call it a beef, but he had a distaste for Bernie because he thought he was still in
Yeah, he thought he was
Robin
trying to be
Harris.
Robin Harris.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but he was like, well, I didn't know that they didn't know each other or whatever, and I was like, wait, so you knew Robin Harris? And he was like, yeah, I started, and I was like, what the? So
see,
it's just
Faison
mind
did-
blowing.
Well, he
for
from
somebody
out
like me.
west too.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Faison is he's a Cali dude, and he did the voice of Robin Harris and Robin Harris
in Baby Kids.
In Baby Kids. So you
So
know
that
he-
means who was your class?
Well,
when
in
you
my
came up
class,
with-
when I come, I'm a lot older than you guys, so I used to look at people that you don't even know their name, like a dude named Rory Flynn, who was extremely funny. He moved to Africa, and Rodney Winfield and Red Fox and Richard Pryor. See, I grew up in that era. And my favorite comedian of all time was Uncle Milton Berle. People thought I was crazy, but Milton Berle was the funniest dude in the world, man. He was quick with the one-liners, All you had to do is look at the Dean Martin roast and look at Milton Berle on there. They'll joan him out, but when he get up, it's over. It's over. When he started talking, it's over. He light everybody up. So Uncle Milton Berle he was a bad dude.
I gotta
man.
look him up on YouTube.
Yeah, Milton Berle and Foster Brooks was one of the dude on the Dean Martin roast. He played a drunk, never drunk look in his life, but he act like he drunk all the time. He was brilliant.
So
Foster Brooks.
you've also spoke about the people that came through 559.
Oh, everybody came through that, man. From JB Smooth, who you see on the Budweiser commercials now. From Jamario, it's just Jamario. From Chris Tucker to Arnez J to Ricky Smiley.
Was there someone that came through and like maybe they were early in their career and then they came through again 5 years later?
Oh
and it
yeah,
was
I don't
just
see them come
totally
through. I've
different,
seen.
and you was
I've
like,
seen
man,
comedians come through there and die a great death. You know what I'm saying? And then I see them come back and destroy it. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen them come through there and bomb like no ever, and they be like, "Oh my God, I'm ready to quit the business." But then they come back the next year and just demolish the club. You know what I'm saying? So it's hit or miss with 559. Because so if they like you, they like you. They don't, they don't.
But them clubs, right? Them type of clubs and rules build your character, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
need those. Like we had one in Houston named Diallo's. Ali Sadiq ran it, and it was just like, you know what I mean? It's how he described it. Hustlers, you know what I mean? Gangsters on that thing. They stripped up in that mug. You know, some nights in the week it was an all premier club. They did everything in there.
And you've been doing comedy since which year?
Ooh, I started in
Like-
2007, 2008. I was playing around with.
So I started in about 2009.
Yeah.
So we'd be in the same class.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
You're from Texas and I live out here.
Yeah.
Originally from Texas though, but
Yeah.
I always ask a comic who's doing this more than 5 years because it's such a hard business nowadays. We discussed it a little bit. I've seen you discuss it on a couple of podcasts where this social media game is a kind of have to sometimes.
No, social media game is where it is. And
So-
see, what other comedians got to understand and what other comedians need to start doing, the social media comedians are winning. They are winning. So
In
if you
numbers.
can't beat them, join them. You understand? That's how I feel. I'm not player hating on nobody. Social media is working because that's where it's went. Don't nobody really listen to the radio anymore. And you got to go social media. Everybody now is on their iPhone or their Android, and they're looking at Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. So
So
that's what it is.
I asked that because is there something that you would go back and tell yourself the first 5 years like, hey, you might want to do this or that. Because when I talk to comedians that ask me that are starting the game, I'm like, hey, man, you've got to be on that social media stuff. As much as you got to be funny, I believe you totally got to be funny.
Yeah, I would have jumped
But-
on it earlier.
But I think there's a difference now. There's a
But
difference
the thing is, now it ain't even how funny you are. You know, you can be the funniest dude in the world, and it don't matter how funny you are, which is sad because there's a lot of funny people out there. But social media, if you got that 10 minutes or that 7 minutes, you're gonna do it. And now management and agencies don't even want to deal with you unless your social media is built up. So basically, they want you to do the work, and they come in and just kind of say, "Hey,
we can put you in
we
these
can put you in these little spots and stuff." So you basically got to build yourself before you even, build your own brand before you even get a manager, a decent manager, and a decent agency.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, Bruce.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to get a lot of people that are going to disagree with you, but I'm thankful that someone who's been in the business this long realizes it. You know what I mean? I tell people, I have comics tell me, like, why would you even set up? Like, I was thankful to open and host this weekend. You're the first person that I've had on this podcast in this club that I actually hosted for.
Okay.
But my concentration now is this podcast now.
Right.
Because I realize instead of me begging to do these $25, $50 spots, I'm better off getting my numbers up, and then the club will call me and give me the money, not the other way around.
Yeah, just always remember, never run at the money, let the money run at you. Always remember that. And whenever you get a management team or agency, the first thing they're going to ask you, how's your social media? That's the first thing they're going to ask you. So, basically, they don't even want to work anymore.
So what are you doing for your social media then?
Well, I had a social media team, so because I'm the type, I can't be on that every day. I'm just saying, in order to have a good following, you got to be on that every day doing something.
Do you have someone that thinks like you then that would post?
Oh
like
no, they
got
to get my permission and everything, and I still do drops and I still talk to the people on social media, but I let them handle all the fundamentals. I ain't got time to be on every day, man. I got other things to do, man. I like eat. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
Me and Bryson were talking about that last night in between the first and second show.
Yeah, you got to be on it, man.
And it's a full-time job. I mean, people see like it took me 40 minutes to set up all these cameras. It's going to take me 30 minutes to break it down.
Ask somebody like, hey man, how that other screen over there look? Like, you know what I mean? Like you trying to do it by yourself.
Then you got to take it, you got to upload it. Then you got to download it into different programs just so I can edit it for 2 or 3 hours, just so I can put it back up. And then you're like, man, this is so time consuming. Like, how do you hold a regular job? But, I was telling Faison, I said, I had a conversation with my dad telling him, like, my first season of doing this, I was paying somebody to do it. And then I realized what it was costing me per episode. And I was like, nah, I got to do this in-house, right? And then I realized how much time it's take me. So I was telling my dad, I was like, hey, Dad, like, and my dad's a nurse, retired naval officer and stuff. So when he sees me do this, he's like, son, just get back to being a nurse. Like, that's you're wasting your time.
But my dad
goes, nobody can tell you. He dropped some dimes on me that weekend. He goes, nobody can tell you how to live your dreams, man. Do what you got to do. And I just took that. I was like, man, thank you, man.
Well, the same. My father, he was in the Air Force. He was a medic. And then he came out of the Air Force, and he was an anesthesiologist. Okay. And become a doctor. But I ain't never want to be no doctor. I used to hear my aunt, Bruce, when I was little, Bruce gonna be a doctor. Bruce gonna be a lawyer. I was like, no, I'm not. I ain't gonna be that. I knew I was. I knew I wasn't gonna be no fireman. I knew I wasn't gonna be no police. I knew I wasn't gonna do no construction. I knew I wasn't gonna be no garbage man. I knew I was gonna be something, but none of them.
We just spoke about the jobs that you didn't want to do.
I knew the jobs that I wasn't gonna do.
I've also heard you speak about you being a chef. You do it on stage.
Yeah, I used to cook for a living.
You say you get down. So, do you still cook?
For myself. I don't. We do stuff around the house, but I don't really care nothing about it no more. I stopped doing that. Started working for Frito-Lay potato chip. You ever heard of Frito-Lay potato chip? Yes. I used to sell potato chips. Driving a truck. And I did that for almost 10 years, and that's when I decided, you know what, I'm not finna drive this truck for 35 years and they give me a Rolex watch and a pension and then tell me thank you very much. I can buy my own Rolex and I can get my own pension. So what I decided to do was just step out. I didn't care. It's two things could have happened when I started doing comedy. I could make it work or I could fail. So I know I'm not gonna let it fail. So I kept going, and you see me now.
Well, I asked that because I'm a big cook. I don't know. Do you cook?
I do my thing. I do a little something.
You know, and you know, one of the ideas was I was going to throw it out to you and be like, hey, I know a couple people in the area, unless they would have loaned us the kitchen, because I always want to do that on my podcast. So I invite you next time you're in the area.
Okay.
Let's both get down, because you know,
I eat it.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty decent cook. But there's always that one dish I ask people, like I have a lot of potlucks being a nurse.
I cook anything.
There's not a go-to dish that you take
I cook
somewhere.
anything. It don't make no difference. You definitely can't touch me on no steaks. I will weigh you out on a steak.
Is that grilling?
Let me ask you
or
something.
on?
How many times you flip a steak when you cook it?
What's the difference? I grill, I guess, right?
All right,
So
when you
I
grill,
don't smoke.
how many times do you flip it?
Just the once.
That's
it.
right. How you supposed to do it?
Just the once.
Flip.
One time.
Now,
All right. Do you use a spatula, or use a fork, or use tongs?
I probably use tongs.
That's the smartest thing. You use a fork, it pushes the juice out of it. You always use a spatula or tongs to flip it. You never use a fork.
And I will tell you, you know, sorry to admit, but
use a fork for the chicken wings, the eggs, frying food. We gonna use a fork.
growing up, I always ate it well done, and I've realized as an adult,
You like well done?
No, not no more. I understand why you should have it medium. So, you know, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything you cook really
I
well?
fry,
Bryson?
man. I'm a fryer. You know, I fry chicken wing, fish. You know, I do shit like that. Tacos, enchiladas.
Now I asked that because some comics have come here. I heard like Tommy Davidson. If you guys haven't had his wings, I heard they're legendary.
Oh
So-
yeah, I hadn't had it, but I know he always go in the comedy club kitchen and fry up some wings. I heard
Do his thing.
I heard he done jumped in all kitchens
Do his
across the
thing,
nation
man.
and started frying the wings.
If they do it, I say do his thing.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask that is because I feel like when we do comedy, people act like we don't have another life outside of this. Like we can't do anything except tell a joke. Sometimes I'm like, no, we're multifaceted people, and just to be a comedian, you've got to be a creative mind and be able to do shit. So
That's right.
When I hear the food, I'm like, man, how do I ask Bruce, can you cook for me? Like,
Yeah. That'd be dope though. Y'all boys get in the kitchen.
So yeah.
Pick something up.
Boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.